as a smear campaign rooted in extortionism as he rejects the sessions. Gold Board is responsible for the losses seen in the domestic gold purchase program. Also coming up, police uncover cross-border drug trade network operating within Ghana and its neighbors, give a new light to Ghana's war against illicit drugs. Also ahead, in business, producer price inflation rises to 4% as factory cores pick up. I am Kemini Amano with the Daily Brief. You're welcome. Let's bring you some news summaries now.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, has strongly denied claims that the institution made losses in its gold trading operations in 2025. At the Government Accountability Series, Sammy Gyamfi described the allegation as false.
Unsurprisingly, Afenyo Markin and his followers have consciously chosen to disregard the Auditor General's confirmation that Gold Board did not record an operational loss. They now claim that the Auditor General did not have access to the full picture concerning the operations of the Gold Board. This position, ladies and gentlemen, betrays either a crass lack of understanding of how an external audit is conducted, or a deliberate determination to undermine yet another independent state institution, independent constitutional body, when its findings do not suit their mischievous narratives.
Minister for Roads and Highways Kwame Governs Abuja has tasked the contractor working on the Accra-Tema motorway extension projects, Maripoma Enterprise Limited, to do more disruptive works in the night to ensure completion of works on that critical corridor within schedule. Despite about 50% completion of works so far, he noted the inconveniences caused by ongoing construction works to the motoring public and called for increased activity on site. Some victims of the Ofankor Barrier multi-vehicle crash on August 13 are still recovering, with some making better progress than others. 12-year-old Angelina Na Adoko lost both legs and her father in the crash. Still battling pain and struggling to come to terms with a new reality, she's uncertain about what the future holds and is appealing for urgent support. The National Identification Authority, NIA, has clarified that the revised fees for Ghana card registration and related services were approved by Parliament and were not introduced unilaterally by the authority. The authority says the current fee regime was approved under the Fees and Charges Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Regulations 2025, LI 2512, a pursuant to the Fees and Charges Miscellaneous Provisions Act 2022, Act 1080.
Time now for some business news.
Well, now it's time for the latest in business. My name is Minu Aful, and latest figures from Ghana Statistical Service show producer price inflation rose to 4% between July 2025 and July 2026, while prices rose by 2% between June and July this year. GSS reported that PPI rose 4% in July, while consumer inflation was 4.6% in the same month. Now, the concern is higher production costs can eventually feed into retail prices.
The industrial sector recorded a stronger increase, with the industrial producer price inflation rate rising to 5.6% in July, up from 3.3% in June. This represents a 2.3 percentage point increase, while industrial producer prices also rose by 4% month-on-month. Within manufacturing, fabricated metal products recorded the highest inflation at 25.9%, followed by leather and related products at 17.4%. Meanwhile, producers of other non-metallic mineral products recorded a 2.3% decline in prices in July. In mining and quarrying, crude oil and natural gas extraction recorded inflation of 12.2%, while mining of metal ores declined to negative 2.3%. Electric power generation, transmission and distribution recorded inflation of 13.3%, while water collection, treatment and supply registered 14.1%. The construction producer price inflation recorded year-on-year inflation of 4.8% in July, marginally lower than the 4.9% recorded in June. The latest figures point to renewed pressure on producer prices, particularly across key industrial activities, with potential implications for business costs and consumer prices.
Economist at the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Quartey, has urged government to increase investments in the Heritage Fund. Now, Professor Quartey's comments come off the back of calls for review of the fund. Ghana's Petroleum Revenue Management Act says the rules governing the country's Heritage Fund should be reviewed after 15 years.
If we are going to spend, it shouldn't just pay wages and salaries. If we are going to invest in an area that will benefit posterity, then we can do so. I mean, if you're going to construct a road that is going to take over 50 years or more, you're going to construct hospitals that posterity will benefit, that should be the way to go. If you're going to invest and get interest and also use the interest on other development, that is fine. That's the way to go. But not to spend on wages and salaries and other short-term things that will not bring benefits. So when you are investing, you also have to look at the risk. Sometimes you don't follow returns all the time because returns can be deceptive. You can be locking up your money into very risky investments. So I believe the investors or whoever is managing the portfolio will have to strike a delicate balance between returns and risk. You can't always be following returns. It's not the best way to go. We certainly have to continue to invest for posterity because as we are spending some for our immediate needs, we also have to leave some for posterity, and therefore we should continue investing. If we can even accelerate or increase how much we invest for posterity, why not? Let's do so.
In a related development, Chair of the Finance Committee of Parliament, Isaac Adongo, has revealed that discussions on the review of the Heritage Fund have not yet reached Parliament. Adongo added that when the matter comes before the House, the interest of the nation will be prioritized.
Done 15 years is within the time frame provided by the law. Of course, we haven't lost sight of the original reason for setting up the Heritage Fund, which was to build sovereign wealth fund that can assist the future of our country. There is a bipartisan agreement that that principle should continue. I do not know what the conversations have looked like, but I do believe that we'll come to some consensus to make sure that the amount of money that we are putting into the Heritage Fund is enhanced, so that over the next 15 years, we'll have a truly representative sovereign wealth fund that can assist the future of our country. So far, I think the conversation hasn't arrived in Parliament yet, but I am sure that the engagement would eventually involve Parliament, and the policy eventually has to come to Parliament, and the law has to be looked at by Parliament. So when it gets to that stage, and Parliament requires input from the public, we will take steps to listen to the public and improve the law as it will be represented to us. So at the moment, that conversation has not yet arrived.
Away from that, Budget Ghana has called on government to use the 2027 budget to widen the tax base, strengthen transparency in the Big Push infrastructure program, and provide clearer implementation plans for major social interventions. Country lead of Budget Ghana, Jennifer Moffat, says governments must move away from repeatedly taxing already compliant citizens and focus more on identifying wealth and economic activity outside the formal tax system.
The organization is proposing stronger use of data from agencies such as the Lands Commission and the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority to match property and luxury vehicle ownership with declared incomes. Budget Ghana also wants improved taxation of international digital and platform businesses generating revenue from Ghana, while cautioning against reforms that could place excessive burdens on informal operators or consumers. On infrastructure, the group is demanding real-time publication of information on Big Push project, including contractors, locations, timelines, procurement arrangement, and sources of financing. It is also calling for a phased approach to the construction of the 24-hour market based on local demand, security, and commercial viability. For Agenda 111, Budget Ghana wants a clear roadmap for completing the remaining 10 unfinished hospitals, while seeking greater clarity on access and operations under the proposed Women's Development Bank. The organization says stronger accountability must accompany increased public spending to prevent unfinished project waste and poor value for money.
Let's now take a look at how the cedi is faring against other trading currencies and how some of our key commodities are also faring on the global markets. Now, we are seeing that on the currency markets, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis 5 pesos, buying at 11 cedis 3 pesos. The pound is selling at 14 cedis 96 pesos, buying at 14 cedis 94 pesos. The euro is selling at 12 cedis 79 pesos, buying at 12 cedis 78 pesos. Now, let's see how our major exports are also faring on the commodities markets. And we've seen that all of them have seen significant shifts in their prices. Gold is up by 3.5%, crude oil is up by 1.26%, and cocoa is up by 1.23%. These are quite significant increases, implying that we are going to earn more from the export of all of these. Now let's take a look at what is happening on the international front. Well, that's it for Business on Daily Brief today. I am Menu Afo, but as usual, we have more news updates for you. Over to you, Kemini.
Absolutely, Menu. Thank you very much for bringing us business news. Now, let's kick up the heat because Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, is fending off minority claims the institution withheld financial information from the Auditor General. Gyamfi says the audit team had unrestricted access to all relevant documents and that queries that were raised in the management letter were satisfactorily addressed. Now, Minority Leader Alexander Penyumakin accused Gold Board of providing insufficient information to the Auditor General's office, which is why the result of their audit of Gold Board operations is different from the IMF's. Gyamfi rejected any claims Gold Board is responsible for the $1.7 billion loss in the domestic gold purchase program. Take a listen.
The audited annual reports and financial statements of the Gold Board for the year ended December 31st, 2025, prepared and published by the Auditor General of Ghana, discloses an operational surplus of 907 million Ghana cedis and an overall surplus of profit of 5.4 billion Ghana cedis. This is an incontrovertible fact. The Gold Board on its own, from its own operations, generated total revenue of close to 1 billion Ghana cedis and kept expenditure just around 109 million Ghana cedis. And so that is what we mean by operational profit or surplus of 907 million. It means that if you took all the revenue we generated as an organization and you deducted our expenditure from it, we had 907 million left. Now, because in the 2025 budget statement, government budgeted a revolving seed capital as its equity for the newly established Gold Board of 4.5 billion Ghana cedis, which monies hit our accounts on or about 30th of December 2025. Those funds had to be added to the revenue of the Gold Board because they were not encumbered, they were not depleted, they were not dissipated. And that is why the overall surplus is 5.4 billion. And this reporting was done by the Auditor General under what is known as IPSAS guidelines. And the chartered accountants and auditors understands this very well. This is why not a single, and I repeat, not a single adverse audit finding was made by the Auditor General in its 2025 audited report on the Gold Board, not on imaginary or hallucinatory losses, not on procurement breaches or breaches of the Public Financial Management Act. Not a single adverse finding was made against the Gold Board in the report of the Auditor General on our accounts for the year 2025. The media, I humbly submit, must not condone.
Let's bring in now Echo Vincent Asifua, who is Member of Parliament for Old Tafel. Honourable, good evening to you. The minority yesterday posed a number of questions to the Gold Board CEO. Today he had his time at the accountability series answering some of these questions. Satisfied?
Obviously, I don't think you yourself are satisfied, especially when the session by the CEO of Gold Board was turned into an insult platform to the extent that he attacked the integrity, reputation, and even the intellect of our minority leader. But we will not go that tangent. We are asking very simple questions. The questions that we are asking is not about what Auditor General has put in his report. We are asking about the SIP review by the IMF staff as far as the extended credit facility is concerned. The claims that has been put in there by the IMF. Remember, last year, when the minority signaled about a $214 million loss, they told us that there are no losses like that. You remember very well. In fact, the institution that initially came to tell us that there are no losses was the Bank of Ghana. And it was followed quickly by the Gold Board saying that there hasn't been any loss like that. But this one was confirmed somewhere in November 2025, as far as the fifth IMF review was concerned. And the Honorable Oponkoma even signaled that the $240 million may not be enough. It may be in its smallest form. We should prepare ourselves for bigger losses, which indeed we have seen those bigger losses as far as the IMF is concerned. The IMF in its sixth review, as far as page 10, paragraph 13 is concerned, has been very clear that indeed there has been a loss of $1.7 billion in its equivalent form, as far as Ghana cedis is concerned, about 22 billion Ghana cedis for 2025 alone. And this report was published in August. So we asked questions about why this particular loss has been occasioned. The IMF said that, one, the loss was occasioned as a result of discounts that, as far as Gold Board was trading, Gold Board trading is concerned, discounts that it gave to off-takers. The IMF also said that these losses were occasioned as a result of some exchange rate differentials. And so, if IMF or if Bank of Ghana gives money to Gold Board to sell, Bank of Ghana will give an amount of, let's say, 100 million Ghana cedis to Gold Board and give an exchange rate of, let's say, 10.5. That 10.5 that has been given as an interbank rate from Bank of Ghana, when Gold Board is going to trade, Gold Board uses the Forex Bureau rate. And this has occasioned the loss that we are talking about. So what is this about the CEO attacking the minority leader, attacking members of parliament who actually embarked on this press conference as if we are speaking out of nowhere? We are speaking
right. So just a couple of
IMF.
A couple of things that we've seen in that IMF report, some of which were reiterated by the Gold Board CEO. The fact that the IMF did not attribute this loss to Gold Board, but rather the central bank's domestic gold purchase program, something that even in your administration you had running as well. That's number one. Number two, the over $200 million you account for in loss, which is, came earlier last year, was only $200 million because at the time the IMF had not looked at the entire year in whole. Do these things answer the question for you, or the questions you have raised so far?
Let me start from the latter point. When we raised the $240 million loss, both Bank of Ghana and the Gold Board told the people of Ghana that there are no losses at all. They were very clear. In fact, they issued statement. In fact, at the time, their leader in the House, the Honorable Mahama Yariga, spoke about the fact that there hasn't been any losses whatsoever at all, because there was a member of parliament on our side during one Friday when we have business committee, that, the Gold Board, or if like the Bank of Ghana and their CEO should be invited to the House of Parliament for them to come and explain to the House about a certain $214 million Ghana cedi dollars that we have seen or we have heard that there are losses that have been incurred by Bank of Ghana and the Gold Board. They told us that they were lies. So I have in my hand here, this is a motion paper that was filed in 2025, somewhere 2025, the one that the majority did not support us. We went to the Speaker of Parliament for the Speaker of Parliament to assist the minority to probe into a $214 million losses that we have heard, according to the IMF, that it has been incurred by the Bank of Ghana and the Gold Board. So that was the premise to which we mentioned a $240 million. So it is agreed that at the time, the IMF had not completed the sixth review. That was just the fifth review. But even before the fifth review was mentioned, we had already gotten the information. Right. Secondly, I agree that, the IMF was not clear to say that, there is a certain loss that has been incurred by Gold Board. But I ask you, did Gold Board has its own money to purchase gold or to sell gold? Because remember,
I thought the question rather would be whether or not the the domestic gold purchase program is a Gold Board initiative or it's a central bank initiative.
My dear, hold on. Last year, I was in Parliament. Okay, the law that we passed for the CEO of Gold Board, he brought the law to Parliament and we helped him pass that law. That law mandated the CEO of Gold Board, and if you like Gold Board by extension, to be the sole agency in charge of selling of our gold, purchase of our gold, buying of our gold, the weighing of our gold, and the exportation of our gold. The sole agency to do that. Now, when Gold Board does not have the money to do those purchases, and the Bank of Ghana gives those monies to Gold Board to do so. So if Gold Board is giving 100 million Ghana cedis, you go and trade, and you bring us 80 million. Who did the trade? I'm asking you, who did the trade? So it is our contention that at least for once, the CEO of Gold Board has agreed that there has been a loss that has been occasioned by the trading of our gold in this country. For once,
the Bank of Ghana has also agreed as far as the economy committee is concerned, because when they came to the economy committee, I was one of the people who actually asked the Bank of Ghana governor that has there been any losses or whatsoever, which they confirmed that indeed there has been losses, except to add that they claim, that the governor claimed that these are transactional losses. I am also saying, and I am also submitting to you vociferously and forcefully, that reading this document tells me that something is wrong. And that is why the minority is coming by way of a motion as per Article 204, Article 214, 212, 202 of the 1992 Constitution, for there to be a probe as to how our gold for reserve has been managed, as to how these losses were occasioned, for us to even be sure whether indeed the $1.7 billion is less or more. Ghanaians will have to have value for its money. And that is what we are saying. We are not trading insults with anybody. We are crying for our state. We are crying for economy. The Bank of Ghana stated in this report that because of these losses, there are macroeconomic costs that we are supposed to pay. Now, there's something that I want to bring to your attention.
Right.
If you have the report, respectfully, go and check what the report said. That is paragraph 6. Paragraph 6 of the report is saying something very dead. See, it says that ASGM gold mining is generating significant environmental degradation that increasingly carries significant macroeconomic costs. Macroeconomic costs. It is talking about the fact that ASGM gold mining has generated significant environmental degradation. Now, I will take you back to paragraph 4.
So these.
Hold on, just give me a minute.
Right,
I'm just trying to go
quickly, because I want to bring in the economists so that we can unpack all that we have heard today.
Paragraph 4 is saying that for the first time in the history of this country, in 2025, artisanal small-scale gold mining overtook large-scale gold mining. Somebody will tell you, but artisanal small gold mining is legal. The Gold Board itself is telling you that we cannot even embark on proper traceability for us to be sure as to the gold that we are buying from Ghanaians or
artisanal gold mining is illegal. That's what you are telling us.
Please, I'm not saying so. Listen to what I said.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that point.
No, I'm not saying so. I'm only saying that because Gold Board is telling us that they are unable to let us know the kind of gold that they buy, whether or not this particular gold is from illegal mining, I am contending to you, submitting to you, that all these kind of gold has been categorized under artisanal small-scale gold mining. That is why for the first time, ASGM has overtaken large-scale gold mining.
That is not what the document says. The document says that the reason we are seeing high. No. Let's make the point. That the document also only identifies. Hang on. The document only identifies that Gold Board's ability, or perhaps even the government's ability to be able to pay a little bit more for the gold from the small-scale miners, or the ASGM, as has been captured in the document, it's because it is a bit more expensive. And so it is stopping the smuggling. Instead of people smuggling, they are bringing it to the gold trader to be able to buy it at the good price that they are getting it. Nowhere in the document does it refer to illegal mining, does it refer to galamsey or any lies. Where are you getting that from?
My dear, I was building a point. You should have taken your time, because I was giving you the combination of 3 paragraphs to deduce what I am telling you.
Right.
The last paragraph that I wanted to take you in was paragraph 15, which is reminding us why the Minister for Finance came to the floor of the House to introduce something we call the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy. You know that the Bank of Ghana, the IMF, has a threshold requirement of 6 months of import cover as far as our gold reserves are concerned. the Minister for Finance came to the House of Parliament to come and tell us about an ambitious program of increasing the 6 months, or if like the threshold, moving beyond the threshold of 6 months to 15 months of import cover by the end of 2028. What that means is that whatever gold we want, we are interested in purchasing because we are in a hurry to pack up our reserve. We are in a hurry to build up our reserve. We are in a hurry to get to the 15 months of import cover. So wherever the gold is coming from, we don't know. Go and ask Gold Board today that the gold that they are buying, can they tell us which of them is illegal gold mining or which one is legal mining? They will tell you that they are having difficulties with traceability. And that is why the IMF is also telling you that because of this small-scale gold mining, which is legal, as has been captured by the IMF, but I am telling you that because the IMF does not have information as to which of them is illegal because they have not been provided with that information by the Gold Board or by the state.
I'm not sure I'm able to deduce the same from the paragraphs you have given me, because the document is very clear on what it says about the ASGM, and it does not indicate anywhere that these things are coming from illegal mining, except to say that government has made it more attractive for small-scale miners and those who would hitherto smuggle.
You are feigning ignorance about paragraph 6 when the IMF is saying that for the first time
let's read
significant environmental degradation. You are feigning ignorance about that.
Let's go through it. Let's go through paragraph 6, right? Paragraph 6.
Paragraph 6.
I'm looking at right now. Says the rapid
expansion and mechanization of ASGM has led to extensive land degradation and loss of vegetative cover, including on cocoa and food crop farms and in forest reserves. Please, legal mine to destroy land.
What are you telling me?
Don't you recover them?
You see, we cannot extricate the destruction of the land from mining, whether or not it is legal or illegal.
That is why I'm telling
and so
you
if the IMF captures that we are doing a lot of mining because there is a proper market to collect the gold that comes from the land, it does not mean that the government bought the gold from illegal miners. However, it is giving us an indication that whatever we are doing is also having an impact on our land, because the truth of the matter is
I am on the economic committee.
But do you agree that based on what you have read to us, it does not tell us
to ask?
Honorable, hold on. Do you agree that based on what you have told us, based on what you have told us, you can have questions about traceability, but whatever you feed my audience now should speak to what you have said. And I'm saying that all the paragraphs you have shared with us does not feed to the assumption that the gold is coming from illegal mining. Do you agree?
That is your interpretation. My conclusive interpretation by reading the document as a whole, I am not just based on paragraph 6. I have read paragraph 6 to you, I have read paragraph 13, and I have read paragraph 15.
And I have pointed out to you that when you put those paragraphs together,
to purchase gold.
I have pointed out to you when you put it together, the IMF nowhere says that the government got gold from illegal miners. And I want us to move away from that, because I do not want you to feed my audiences what we cannot prove.
Who has been buying our illegal gold? Our Galamsey gold, who has been buying them?
Who bought illegal gold during the NPP's era?
Yes, who has been buying them?
How would you...
No.
It is illegal. It is illegal. How do you expect us to know who is buying them?
I am asking you that, do you know who has been buying that gold today?
Maybe you can tell me. You were in Parliament. Who was buying it during the NPP's era?
I'm telling you that I have already met with the CEO of Gold Board at the committee meeting, which I asked, which he himself made me know how difficult it is to trace which of the golds that he buys are illegal and legal.
I see. So you are attributing that to Sami Gyamfi. That Sami Gyamfi told you that, but not the IMF document.
I am saying that the IMF document, per my interpretation, if you read the combined effect of 6, 13, and 15 paragraphs, tells you that there is serious and significant environmental degradation.
Because mining generally has serious and significant environmental degradation impact on our land. But let's look at other issues now. Honorable.
Kwame Nkrumah time, for the first time in the history of this country,
Honorable,
Kwame Nkrumah time, even before Kwame Nkrumah time.
Honorable, let's look at other issues.
Has overtaken large-scale mining. Is that what you're saying?
Let's look at other issues where perhaps this one would, you would have proper evidence to back it. We know that the minority plans to go to file a motion again in Parliament. In fact, you've courted the majority caucus to support it this time. I want us to take a listen to Sammy Gyamfi on this subject matter because he says he's ever ready to come. Take a listen.
There's been a call for a parliamentary probe, and I've already stated on public record that I'm waiting with bated breath for Afenyo Markin's invitation. And I don't know why he's delaying and holding press conferences when, as minority leader, he can get the Public Accounts Committee to summon me tomorrow or today, and I will appear. I saw him dabbling in some confusion about standing orders of Parliament and the fear that the majority may oppose a call for a probe into this matter. Well, I have, in all humility, reached out to the new majority leader in Parliament, Honorable James Agaga, and I've pleaded with him that even if Afenyo delays in extending this invitation, he should extend the invitation to me. And I'm ready to come tomorrow. You don't need any special motion. You don't need any special order by the Speaker. Just get Public Accounts Committee to invite us. And come and sit down there and come and demonstrate to the whole nation where the Gold Board made losses or how the Gold Board is to blame for losses made by another institution. We are waiting for that. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I want to urge you, our friends in the media, in all humility and the Ghanaian public, to hold Afenyo Markin and others who make allegations about Gold Board losses to the strictest standard of proof, particularly in the light of the detailed facts I have placed before you today. Let me state that the persistent noise from people like him does not arise from any genuine quest for accountability or any sincere desire to interrogate the operations of the Gold Board. Rather, it is a part of a calculated smear campaign aimed at undermining the significant contribution Gold Board is making to the economic transformation agenda of President Mohammed's administration. The likes of Afenyo Markin simply cannot reconcile themselves with the transformational work of Gold Board because they appreciate the important role it has played in the historic appreciation of the Ghana cedi and the significant strengthening of Ghana's international reserves, developments that are contributing to improved economic conditions for the Ghanaian people. Afenyo Markin's continuing antics, and I want you to listen to me very carefully here. Afenyo Markin's continuing antics must therefore be seen for what they are: a desperate smear campaign by persons who have specialized in sophistry and political blackmail in pursuit of selfish ends. These devious extortionists.
Honorable, there was a bit more on that, but from what you have heard so far, how does it come to you? Not only does he think that he's ever ready to answer the questions that Parliament would have for him, but he's actually been asking the new majority leader to ensure that he's programmed for the Public Accounts Committee or whatever parliamentary probe there is. But then he also makes some accusations there regarding why this is happening and at this time.
My dear, Sammy Gyamfi is a lawyer like myself. Extortion is a crime under the laws of this country. I am challenging him and his likes in Gold Board to make a formal complaint to the Ghana police for Afenyo Markin to be investigated for such an extortion. It is a big challenge that I'm throwing to my brother Sammy Gyamfi, because he is telling us that somebody is out there making noise. But he was noisiest today because if you are attacking somebody of extortion as a lawyer, you should know better. Number two, Sami Gyamfi cannot show us, the minority, the tools to use in Parliament in doing our work. I am a second-time member of Parliament. Afenyo Markin is about the fourth-term member of Parliament. We know our tools to use. He is not the chair to the Public Accounts Committee. We, as members of Parliament, and the minority, as we speak, has decided to trigger Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution for Parliament and Committee, based on the strength of numbers in Parliament, for us to probe the difficulties of life, for us to probe the challenges that we are finding as far as Bank of Ghana and the Gold Board is concerned. He cannot tell us the tools to use in Parliament. But as far as we are concerned, we are going to use a motion. He should just tell his majority people that the majority should not come to the floor to debate against the motion. The majority should not come to the floor to come and vote against the motion. He should lobby his people for the majority to accept the challenge from the minority, for us to debate this and for us to establish or set up an ad hoc committee to probe and inquire into the gold for reserve matter and the losses that have been incurred, as has been enshrined in the document that has been stated by the IMF. So he cannot tell us the tools to use as far as Parliament is concerned.
I see. And Honorable, just before I let you go, are we still at the point where we will not distinguish the domestic gold purchase program from the operations of Gold Board? Because again, it brings to the fore, at the time the NPP was in office, it had the Gold for Reserve program or the scheme.
My dear, don't be a problem for this country.
Oh, how is that?
Don't be a problem for this country.
You didn't let me finish my point. You're assuming I'll be a problem.
But this comparison should stop.
Okay.
The IMF has done a fifth review, has done a state review. Okay? In fact, even in the state review, what the IMF is saying with respect to smuggling from 2019 to 2023, with the IMF, based on information that is available to them, was not able to tell us the amount of smuggling that has been done in 2025. With that comparison that they did with the UAE, that has not been enshrined yet. Why are you not interested in finding out the exact amount of money that this country have lost as far as smuggling is concerned in 2025? Why are you not interested with Sami Gyamfi and the Gold Board giving you the information as to how much of exportation has been made as far as the state is concerned, so that you can do proper comparison with the other countries that they did? With respect to what they gave to the IMF, for the IMF to compare from 2019 to 2023 or 2024. Why are you doing that comparison? There has been an established fact I
understand the questions you're raising, but the comparisons are important because this is a continuum. We want to understand what happened before and whether or not, as we are being told, this is a smear campaign. If there are germane questions, because this may not have happened before, those questions will be answered. Now, my question, you didn't wait to hear my question.
He himself has admitted, finally, that indeed there has been a loss of $1.7 billion. Finally. Why are you not interested in finding out the opportunity costs of that $1.7 billion?
We're going to do that after this break, but I was hoping you'd compare with 2024, just before they came into office, when we are also told that about the $400 million loss, yes. Whether or not...
You want to compare $400 million loss with $1.7 billion? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying, you see, when you say that, it's disingenuous because we know that the trade volumes were not the same. Now, what I am driving at is whether or not, at the time, it was a PMMC loss or it was a central bank loss.
On podiums attacking the NPP of incompetence. If there has been a transaction or a trading loss of $400 million, you, the competent one, you come to government and you are telling me that you were not able to turn the hands of
we'll leave it here for now. We'll leave it here for now because remember, I've told you the trading volumes are not the same, and so it will be unfair
So it is okay for them to make a loss. Hey, TV3.
No. You are completely distorting the conversation, and I think we should end it here. Thank you very much for your time. Vincent Ekow-Assefuah is Member of Parliament for Old Tafo. We've just been looking at the recent developments to do with Gold Board, but particularly the domestic gold purchase program. Now, when we come back, let's unpack all that we have heard from the Gold Board, from the minority, from the IMF, and see where this country is. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
After this fufu and pepper soup, I go score goals like them the dash points.
Kivo 100% natural hot pepper. Good for your jollof, stew, soup, shito, spaghetti, and noodles. Kivo hot pepper. Moko show.
Kivo 100% natural hot pepper.
A taste of Ghana.
This advert is FDA approved.
You dey sleep. Dance Madina.
Sentuntum say wunna ma de jume ma wonsa.
Efrema be ma Daniel ba.
Ma wonsa. Sentuntum ma muda ma wonsa.
That shall not slap. Having black mosquito where Pamon tontom na empum wisie bebre na ema wo mowa na ema wo nhwem na ehia.
Having insecticide spray eye hwam na sasu kumu a wotu ene omo wia nyina. Now having naphthalene balls and having perfumed insect repellent no epam wa wia na senja hwa wechiri.
Having black mosquito kwe empum wisie bebre and say wo hene so ehwam kama kwe no na jumo size no boduma don't shred to me no.
And having naphthalene balls ni perfumed insect repellent no epam wa mutu na wa wonam from na senja hwa wechi.
Heaven dear bakope.
Heaven dear
bakope. Heaven dear bakope.
Heaven dear bakope.
FDA aji edrede krato yato.
Mino All-in-One Nutrimix is truly milky and contains calcium. So no need to add milk to that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids. Mino All-in-One Nutrimix is such a smart choice. Mino, energy to go further.
Last year's Christmas with the 2025 GMB Queens was unforgettable, but this year, Global Wings Travel and Tours is making it even bigger. Celebrate Christmas with the 2026 Queens in Dubai and Abu Dhabi from the 24th to 30th December 2026. Join the GMB 2026 Queens and enjoy 5% discount with our early bird registration. Early bird registration ends on 30th September. This tour package includes return flights, 6 nights in a luxurious hotel, daily breakfast and dinner, UAE visa, Dubai city tour, aquarium and underwater zoo, Marina Do Cruise, desert safari, Abu Dhabi city tour, and so much more. With Global Wings Travel and Tours, Christmas isn't just a holiday, it's an experience. Be part of this experience. Call or WhatsApp 0550 18818.
Buedi. Prof, I apologize profusely. We had a very long conversation with the Honorable Member of Parliament for OTA for keeping you on our lines for a very long time. But here we are trying to unpack what we have heard from the Gold Board, from the IMF, how the minority sees both sides of the divide, so to speak. From the accounting point of view, what are you reading?
Yeah, good afternoon to you and to your viewers as well. I enjoy your conversations so far. Let me give an advice before I go into the matters, the figures as well. I've heard various comments and various submissions, but it's important that we do away with the personality involved in these whole discussions. I also find it difficult to really understand the matters that we have to consider. In fact, we have to do away with Sammy Jemfi, we have to do also Sahine, Afenyomakin. All their major issues raised are important, but it's important we focus on the Gold Board as an institution. Then we'll be able to understand the numbers and then issues very well. I have chanced on the report by IMF, the 26/13123, and then I have chanced on Gold Board report financial statement as well. I listened to a press conference by the minority leader, and then I've also listened to the rebuttal from the CEO. So it's important we look at this whole thing clearly and ask one major question. After adding Gold Board gains and BOG costs, how much has Ghana actually gained from the domestic gold purchase program? That should be fundamental for our discussion. After adding Gold Board gain and BOG cost, how much has Ghana actually gained from the domestic gold purchase agreement? You see, until Gold Board, BOG, and the Ministry of Finance published a single consolidated domestic gold purchase agreement statement showing gold purchased, purchase price, FX generated, the fees, trading losses, exchange rate effect, serialization cost, reserve gains, and government capital. The claims of either 5.4 billion profits or the 1.7 billion loss, which is about 22 billion Ghana cedi, should not be treated as a complete economic picture. You see, if you look at the official report, we produce different numbers.
Which of the reports? Or you are referring to both?
I'm referring to both. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And investors may demand a higher. When you see such a report, investors obviously would demand a higher premium because they cannot easily determine Ghana's fiscal position in terms of what we have seen now. It has effect on what investors will be thinking about. But let's come into the domestic gold purchase program. We look at the contribution. We cannot present an issue if the DGP has only negative effect. We need to be very honest. Gold Board says it generated more than 10.8 billion in FX from ASM, that's artisanal and small-scale mining exports in 2025. Gold exports were also major reasons Ghana total export earning reached the 20 billion in 2025.
Right.
So it means that that creates an important economic benefit because gold export increased, FX supply increased, the pressure on the dollar reduced, cedi stabilization appreciated, and import also increased.
Very well.
So for every person, it would be wrong to conclude that the DGP losses is equivalent to economic failure. No. But the issue is that where the cost of generating this FX inflows reasonable. And if you listen to the submission by the CEO of the Gold Board this afternoon, he made a very profound statement, and we need to interrogate that statement well. He said, and I quote, "Nowhere in the under-referenced IMF report was Gold Board accused by IMF as having caused losses reported to have been incurred by the Bank of Ghana under the Domestic Gold Purchase Agreement program." And he said, "I challenge Afenyomarkin to the point to point out any page, paragraph, sentence, phrase, or punctuation mark that's the reference report. Gold was accused by IMF as entity for the losses incurred by the Bank of Ghana." Now, if you have listened to this issue well, it will tell you, now go and grab a copy of the document.
Very well.
And go to the document yourself.
Prof, I want you to wind down for me because the concern now is whether or not Gold Board can extricate itself from the losses of the Domestic Gold Purchase Program, which sits with the central bank. That is number one. Number two, now that the government has decided that, look, the central bank should not directly deal in gold as he has done under the Gold for Reserve scheme or program, or the Gold Purchase Program. It would now sit with government. It will sit with the gold trader. What are the blind spots that Gold Board should avoid now? So 2 questions in one, quickly.
Well, it's difficult for Gold Board to detach itself from what we have seen today.
Why?
Because IMF attribute the overall losses to domestic gold purchase and identify Gold Board related fees as one of component of those losses. That's one we need to. So if you check the various paragraphs from the document, it is difficult for Gold Board now to say, well, we are not part to all these transactions. It will be difficult.
Because the central bank paid Gold Board for its services.
So Gold Board is named as the recipient of service and assay fees that are identified as part of the losses on the gold trades.
I see. Prof, unfortunately, I'm out of time. We'll have to end here. But I really had a lot of questions about that because I don't understand how the fees of Gold Board bonds it to this, the accounting losses that the central bank's program made. But perhaps we'll continue this on another platform. Thank you very much once again, Professor from the university. He's the Dean of the Faculty of Accounting and Financing at the University of Professional Studies in Accra, Professor Isaac Boadi there. Earlier was Otafo MP, Vincent Eko Asifwa, and we've been looking at the Gold Board's activities over the 2025 period, but more especially, or more correctly, we've been looking at the Domestic Gold Purchase Program and how it fared over the period. I am Kemini Amano. This is the Daily Brief, and you have been briefed.